Hello, welcome to M Pluto. My name is M. Today I'm going to be doing a general reading on the sign of, I don't know, why do I always say general reading to Celtic Cross? Um, as you can hear, I was around a lot of smoke today, so I'm a little out of breath. I don't know if I'm going to upload this one just because it's a little, it's a lot. But yeah, it's going to be a Celtic Cross for the sign of Pisces. Did I say Aries? It's Pisces. Okay. Spirit, give me the Celtic Cross for the sign of Pisces. Spirit, give me the Celtic Cross for the sign of Pisces. Okay. What is the center energy for Pisces? Temperance. Interesting. Temperance is a very beautiful card to me because it represents balance, obviously, but it also means being patient with oneself and knowing when to take the right action. So you could be in a situation that demands you to be more patient, or this could be a personality trait of yours. Okay, that's Spirit, what is Pisces crossing? Crossing energy for Pisces. Okay. Five of Cups. Regret. So you may be dealing with something that maybe upset you, that could have been a loss. I don't want to say that there was like a little death, but you could have been looking forward to something, and it's taking you a little while to process the disappointment or regret or possibly grief of the situation. Once again, I'm so sorry for the heavy breathing. Again, I literally might not upload this because it's a lot. Okay, Spirit, what is the unconscious energy? Something that Pisces is not necessarily aware of right now. Unconscious energy for Pisces. Six of Pentacles. You could be maneuvering through taking care of your people right now. It could be almost second nature to just take care of those around you right now. Yeah, this reading I don't think is going to get posted. I'm also sensing that something that you may not know is that you could be someone that a lot of people lean on. People could expect you to almost overgive instead of receiving. People could see you as someone who has resources and someone who overgives those resources. Spirit, what is the conscious energy for Pisces? Five of Swords. I'm not going to go too much out on a limb and say maybe the overgiving is creating some kind of issues amongst you internally, or your peers, your family, your friends, your coworkers. But I am seeing a repeated 5, so there could be some sort of loss or instability, some sort of situation with I don't want to say like a rule book, but something to do with. Let's wait. Okay, Spirit, what is the past event for Pisces? Past event for Pisces. Another 5. Okay, 5 of Pentacles. So 5 is a repeated number here. In the past, there could have been a scarcity mindset or a lack of financial means. Yeah. There's a lot of fives here. Five is instability, loss, uncertainty. It's also the fifth card. The fifth card is a Hierophant. So there could be something um, about traditionalism that you're dealing with as well, conventionality that you're dealing with as well. Okay, what is the future event for Pisces? Again, we're just putting together your skeleton. We don't really have a legit story just yet. Bottom of the deck is the devil, though. Something somewhat intense. Future event for Pisces. King of Pentacles. Okay, that's great. Past event was the Five of Pentacles, which is scarcity. Future event is the King of Pentacles. So there seems to be some stability that takes place. Grounded energy coming forth. Spirit, what is Pisces' heart's desire? Pisces' heart's desire. I've got this for Sagittarius yesterday, Seven of Cups. You could be dealing with a lot of ways to deal with something, and you deeply desire knowing how to handle the situation. Which way is the best? Which option is the best option? I don't think this has to do with delusions or being. I mean, you could be spoiled for choice, but I think this has to do with wanting to make sure you take the right action. Simply because the center card of the reading is Temperance, which is about taking the right action, making the right decision. Spirit, what is the external influence for Pisces? Excuse me. The Three of Cups. So there is an opportunity coming forth for you for reunion, possibly with friends. For a celebration, you could be accomplishing something within the workforce collaboratively that brings a celebratory opportunity for you. Okay, Spirit, what is the hopes or fears for Pisces? Again, I want to let you know this is just a skeleton. We don't really have a legit story just yet. What's the external influence? Or sorry, what's the hopes or fears for Pisces? I think you hope to have a plan, a legit plan that could come to fruition, that could become tangible, and I think that you fear that you don't have a plan. That the plan that you put together cannot actually reach momentum, can actually get to that Three of Wands energy. Now, what's the likely outcome for Pisces? I just saw the Ace of Wands. What's the likely outcome for Pisces? Likely outcome for Pisces. The World. Oh, I love that. Fulfillment. Fulfillment in relationships, fulfillment in career, fulfillment in yourself, fulfillment in a project. That's great. But it's also a kind of fulfillment where it comes from hard work. You know, the major arcana is it starts with the Fool all the way to the World. The World is basically the Fool goes through all of the major arcanas, and he ends with the World, which means he's learned a lot. So that achievement is not necessarily just one thing. It's an entire cycle of something coming to fruition that reaches fulfillment for you. Bottom of the deck for the skeleton of the Celtic cross is the Page of Pentacles. So something is brewing, something you're working towards something. Okay. Now let's go ahead and clarify. Let's go ahead and clarify I'm curious about that Temperance card. Temperance is a major arcana. And it there's two major arcanas in this deck, which is very important. whether you have a lot of major arcanas or whether you have a little, it basically says the same thing. Pay close attention. There is obviously a project or something that you are working towards that you are being very patient about when it comes to taking the right action. That Five of Cups tells me that even though you could be thinking about the right action, or you could be in a situation where you have to take the right action, that Five of Cups tells me the way that it's being acted out, though, is through grief, regret. But the world tells me that something flips, and we're going to see how. So, Spirit, tell me why Temperance is here for the center energy of Pisces. Why is Temperance here? Bottom of the deck is the Two of Swords. We have the Three of Pentacles. Okay, and we have the Eight of Wands reverse. Okay. So initially off the bat, I'm getting that there's something to do with collaboration or building something. You are possibly someone who is dealing with a lot of projects right now. I think that you may be stretching yourself too thin, which is why the overall energy of the spread is Temperance, which is basically to slow down and to be careful about when to make certain choices. The Three of Pentacles tells me that this specifically has something to do with either your community, your job, or someone that you're collaborating with or building with. I'm going to be more leaning towards this has to do with your work, something to do with work. You could be taking on a lot of opportunities, and you may need to slow down. But I will say is that may be the energy surrounding. But the Five of Cups, excuse me, is the crossing energy. The crossing energy is basically how you act, how this center energy is being acted out in the real world. And with the bottom of the deck being the Two of Swords, that Temperance card possibly tells me, and that Eight of Wands possibly tells me that there could have been some indecision when it came to actually taking advantage of opportunities because you didn't know when to seize it, when to not take it. So, Spirit, tell me why that Five of Cups is here. I just saw the Magician on the bottom of the deck. Why is the Five of Cups here for the crossing energy for Pisces? I hate when I fall. Spirit, why is the Five of Cups here? Okay, just saw the Eight of Cups. Why is the Five of Cups here for crossing energy for Pisces? Okay. We have a missed opportunity here. That's why you're grieving. The Five of Cups is clarified by the Four of Cups and Strength. You could be in a position right now where you're kind of so I just want to clarify. So the crossing energy initially, the significator card is the Five of Cups, which is disappointment and grief. That is being clarified by the Four of Cups, which is basically dissatisfaction and not seeing another opportunity available to you because you're upset about the three other cups that you didn't get. And then the Strength card, Strength is really Strength is really interesting because Strength is like, is it courage? Is it self-mastery? Is it restraint? Give me a second here. I think that you feel like you're in a very vulnerable place right now. Yeah, I think you feel like you're in a very vulnerable place right now because there's an opportunity where you possibly got overwhelmed amongst a project or something to do with your peers, something to do with your community, and you may feel like your indecision, because we did see that Two of Swords, you may feel like that indecision um, is a character flaw. Like you could be a little too harsh on yourself. And so strength here with the Four of Cups tells me you could be having negative thoughts. You could be having very toxic thoughts about yourself, or not believing in yourself. That's how that could be acted out. Spirit, why is the Six of Pentacles here in the unconscious energy for Pisces? Okay, I'll take you. Six of Pentacles unconscious for Pisces. Six of Pentacles for the unconscious for Pisces. Okay. Five of Swords again. Yeah. What you may not be aware of is that possibly the reason why this situation happened in the first place was because you were possibly overgiving to something else that required or took away your attention from your actual priorities. So instead of it being this equal balance and give, it really wasn't an equal balance and give. You could have also not have been supported enough in order to be able to take on these responsibilities. I'm not necessarily sure if that's with your collaborative partners, with an actual partner or friendship or people in your community. What I am seeing is I'm seeing the double Five of Swords. I'm seeing another five. Excuse me. Yeah, we have five. So there's something about instability and loss here. The only thing here is I want to clarify that that other Five of Swords for conscious, because I don't want to say it just yet, because I want to figure out if that Five of Swords is internal or external. Right now, it's in the unconscious. I want to see how it's coming out in the conscious energy, because it's coming out as clarifying the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is equal give and take, but the Five of Swords is clarifying it, which means that there was some sort of exchange of harsh words, or there was a victory, but it was an ego victory. It wasn't a very satisfying victory, which I don't believe it is, because it's followed by the Ten of Swords, which is a painful cycle coming to an end, but nonetheless a painful cycle. So that victory, I don't think is a victory. I think it's an exchange of harsh words, or it could be betraying of oneself, or it could be toxic thoughts. We do have that Strength card. Spirit, why is the Five of Swords in the conscious energy? Truth, justice, alignment. And then there's that five again. Okay. Bottom of the deck, Seven of Cups. I'm getting that there's a relationship or dynamic here that's not supportive. We have the Five of Pentacles twice. We have the Five of Pentacles in the past event. We have the Five of Pentacles in the consciousness. Something that you're aware of. Yes, Five of Pentacles can represent scarcity mindset. I think personally here, the Five of Pentacles represents a person that you're in a partnership with who is not supportive of you, who possibly gives you advice. We do have justice here. They could give you legal advice. But it's not good advice. They're leading you astray. They're leading you to making bad financial decisions, or they're leading you to feeling alienated. Yeah. That Five of Swords being clarified by justice and the Five of Pentacles. There's struggle, there's lack, and there's insecurity going on here. This is not whatever partnership this is, it's not equal or balanced. That's why the Six of Pentacles is in the unconscious. Yeah, it's not an equal or balanced relationship. There's somebody here who's pulling the strings. It's not you, I believe. Somebody else. And I think that they may have more power than you in whatever partnership you have here. Yeah. And I think the Five of Swords, there could be an ego. There could be an ego, not competition, but there could be an ego or power play dynamic going on between you and this person. And it's brewing from the unconscious. And it's, excuse me. Excuse me. And it's stemming from the lack of lack of equal give and take. Okay, so I think that the Five of Swords unconscious is you internally being like, this is what's happening, and I think the Five of Swords consciously is basically coming up. It's becoming a power play dynamic between you and this person because the scales are so obviously equally unbalanced. Let's clarify the King. We also have double Seven of Cups for Heart's Desire and bottom of the deck again. Again, this to me tells me, what do I do? How do I get out of this? Spirit, why is the King of Pentacles here? Because it's actually great. Passive event was scarcity, lack, struggle. Future event is money, abundance, stability. So you get out of it. Let's clarify that. Two of Cups. Spirit, why is the King of Pentacles here in the future event? Why is the King of Pentacles here in the future event? Okay. Bottom of the deck is the Two of Cups. So basically you maintain balance or become balanced when the partnership becomes more supportive. Okay? The King of Pentacles is clarified by the King of Cups and the Star. So once the partnership becomes supportive and healing, that's when you get out of that lack mindset. Very interesting. And like I said, bottom of the deck is the Two of Cups. But here's the thing. You have to be careful about taking on too much of the other person's responsibilities. Because right under the Two of Cups is the Ten of Wands, which is taking on too many burdens, and a lot of that has to do with other people's expectations, other people's responsibilities that they throw onto you. So again, potential for it to be a mutual bond if you maintain support and focus on healing. Okay, Spirit, why is the Seven of Cups here for Heart's Desire? Yep, again, it's the same thing for Fears and Hopes. Oh, sorry, that's the Three of Wands. Making a decision. Making a decision. You could be worried about figuring out which decision or choice to make that you can envision, that you can actually sustain and build upon. One more card for Heart's Desire for Pisces. Page of Swords. Embracing new ideas. You want the decision to be logical. You want it to be something that is practical, but you also want it to be something innovative, while also being able to move toward it, actually make it something tangible. Now, Spirit, why is the Three of Cups in the external influence? This is what's coming towards you, an opportunity coming toward you. Two of Cups. Okay. One more for external influence. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the Nine of Wands. For external influence, very interesting card. We have the Three of Cups clarified by the Two of Cups and the Eight of Swords. An opportunity comes to you for celebration and a mutual bond. However, this bond, I want to show you the cards. So this is the Three of Cups, celebration. It could be reunion, but it can also be celebration. You can still be in contact with this person. Eight of Swords and the Two of Cups. There's excuse me. There's something about this bond that even though it's mutual, even though you can have big wins with it, there's something about it that requires you to hold back words. That's why that Five of Swords is here twice. There's something about it that requires you to do. It's like you have to do it a certain way for it to work. Like, you have to do it a certain way. You have to make decisions a certain way. You have to act a certain way for this to work. So whether there is an opportunity for, an external influence, celebration, mutual bond, an opportunity for that. And with the Nine of Wands being here, it's like it requires you it requires you to be exhausted, like you having to do things a certain way to maintain balance, which is what this is all saying over and over again. I have to do things a certain way to maintain balance, because if I don't, we fall back into being unequal, and it exhausts you, and it leads you to sometimes possibly ignoring your intuition. I mean, having the two cards in tarot, I think there's another one, I forget. There's two cards in tarot where they're blindfolds, right? Usually blindfolds in tarot means not trusting one's intuition. Not wanting to see the truth, being in denial about something. But that's just one card position. And like I said, the future event, it looks very, 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 excuse me. I'm so sorry. The future event looks very healthy and good. The King of Pentacles is stability, and it's being supported through a supportive partnership, and the Star, which is healing. So take with that what you will. Spirit, let's clarify the world. Why is the world here? This is your likely outcome. So what comes along with that fulfillment we talked about? Why do I keep falling off the table? One more for the world. Just saw the Five of Cups. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the Five of Cups. The Emperor in reverse. The ending. The world can also represent fulfillment. It also represents the end. I'm not going to say that you in this. Yeah, it's not. The ending, and then the cards clarifying it are the Three of Swords, which is heartbreak. The Emperor in reverse, which is basically the breaking down of order. Seems like an ending. Seems like possible ending to a partnership or dynamic. I don't think that this energy lasts this long. I don't think the future energy lasts this for long, specifically because of that external influence of you having to constantly maneuver around the relationship or dynamic or collaborative partnership, friendship, whatever it is, a certain way, a very limited way. I'm so sorry. Overall, the cards for your bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Cups, which is regret, disappointment, and the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles, when it comes to a relationship, it's like a flower blooming. It's not a tire flower coming out. It's very, it's small. It's a small investment in the Five of Cups, which means regret or disappointment. 5 was the overall number that came out in this spread. So you could be dealing with a lot of instability, a lot of loss right now. That being said, this is just my Celtic cross for you. It's never as predictive as people wanted to say. Things change all the time. Other than that, my name is M, and the channel's name is M Pluto. Thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful rest of your day.